Being a sickle cell is a struggle, but having a family that will stand by you eases the burden, and Joy had that perfect family, support, and love from her mother and siblings.
My name is Sarah Sonny. I'm Joy's older sister. There are three other siblings between me and Joy.
As the firstborn, Sarah was there to watch little Joy grow into the angel that she is today, and she must have learned some lessons.
Uh, well, we lived in the north and we lived in a private area. We weren't allowed to mingle a lot. It was just a normal childhood. We were pretty happy and okay, every one of us, before Joy came along. When Joy came, she was such a fresh and cute baby because I was grown and I remember her very well. She had long nails and very coily hair, very black hair. And surprisingly, she still has very coily hair up till now. She was a very troublesome baby at some point. She used to fight with every one of us one way or the other. She liked chicken. She used to fight over meat or chicken, any protein on the food. Up till now, funny enough, if you don't give her meat, there's a problem. Growing up, we didn't really understand the nature of her health. Nobody really knew what it was back then. We just knew that she used to fall sick a lot. She used to go to the hospital a lot. She used to take injections a lot. There was a time she was very sick and she had to take 42 injections. And we were even making jokes about it. We gave her a nickname. We used to call her 42 because she took everything and, she dusted it. She was such a strong baby. But as we were all growing up, the hospital times kept getting frequent and more frequent because she was growing, she was walking, and she was going to school. So I think the stress level started to increase and it made her go to the hospital a lot. And hence it was affecting every one of us because the moment we hear that she's sick or she has to be in the hospital, we're all down. Sometimes I'm at work and I have to stop work and rush to wherever she is, if she's in class, if she's in her hostel, anywhere she is, even if she's home. We have to find a way to take her to the hospital. So those moments were a bit tough and challenging. You basically have to stop your life and try to attend to that at that moment because you don't want to lose her. You don't want to also regret for the rest of your life that you were doing something and that's why you didn't show up for her. So we always have to be there. We always, so it was a bit tough for every one of us, and there's no getting used to it. I can't even say we got used to it. We just keep praying that, the crisis doesn't come up. At some point it was coming every month. We had to be in one hospital or the other every month. And then some hospital services were not very good. I can't mention some names now, but it's not something you pray for even your enemy to go through. Every one of us, my mom, my dad, my sisters, all of us, we have to stop. Sometimes we rotate the hospital shift. Who will be there in the morning, who will be there at night, who will be there this day or that day. It wasn't very easy for us. I realized that Joy is a very strong girl. Those times when she's down, she says some things, from pain, but also she asks us to pray for her, that, she's going through a lot, and we can feel it, we can see it. But one of the lessons I've picked is the strength. She's just incredibly strong, and it's something to emulate. We're always warning her, you have to take your meds. I don't know, for some reason, maybe when she's strong, she used to forget how it is when she's down. And we're always having to remind her, take your meds, take water, Take your blanket, wear socks, wear cardigan, don't stress yourself, take cabs when you need to take cab, you know. She can't be everywhere like others. She can't play ball or anything like that. So it's something we have to keep telling her. And at some point she knew. So those are the worries, just to make sure that it doesn't catch her unawares. At least we would have done our part. She would have done her part, taking all her medications and water and all that, so that even when the crisis comes, it's kind of reduced.
Although the sleepless nights seemed endless, but the end goal was always a healthier Joy.
We've had loads of sleepless nights. It's uncountable. We've all been up. You can't sleep through it. The pain is excruciating. You can feel it even though you can't feel it directly, you know. You can feel it, the way she's speaking in pain. Sometimes she's vibrating out of pain. I've never seen that before. You know. And it's not that she's doing it on purpose. Her leg is just vibrating or something. So and sometimes the crisis starts at night, in the middle of the night. You can't get to the hospital by that time. You can't get a doctor to come to the house by that time. So we all have to be up, you know, putting water on the fire, rubbing her with methylated spirits, or, you know, trying to just make sure that she's relieved one way or the other. Anything to do. So yes, there's been a lot of sleepless nights.
The age-long belief that parents are the cause of their children's pain is questionable, because not a lot of people take time to actually think about it or even think of how to support people who are SS.
Like I said, the little I can do is what I get to do. I leave work, I rush to wherever she is. There was a time she had surgery from one of the complications of being a sickle cell patient, and she had to go into surgery for like 2-3 months. She was on crutches and walking frames, and all those times I had to stop work completely and focus on her. It was around that period she got admission into Unilag, so I had to go around, try to run her registration process when they allow someone else to do it. Sometimes they won't allow somebody else to do it, so I have to go to the hospital and pick her and take her to the school, try to do the registration, then we'll go back to the hospital. So it had some level of effect on my life. I remember when she was well and all that, after the surgery, I had a block because I'm an artist and I couldn't draw for a while because of the trauma I went through. It was a tough period for me as well, but I see it as one of the challenges. It's probably not even half of what she's gone through, so life goes on.
Joy is the last born and the only SS in her family, but sometimes did her siblings ever feel she had too much attention focused on her?
Oh no, there was not any time I felt that way. In fact, I want her to get all the attention she can get. She can be annoying at times, but it's fine. I never felt anyway. It's needed. We all give her the attention. Even me, I give her attention. Everybody, every one of us. So I don't, speaking for myself and even other of our siblings, I don't think there was any time we felt like she was getting any attention, especially. She definitely needs all the love. That pain is too much. I don't know, we've tried to Google the threshold of the pain. I think they said it's like the second or third highest kind of pain any human can feel. So from childbirth or burning, you know, any of those things. So I think she needs all the attention and we're okay with that. I remember when we were a lot younger, my parents were doing the herbal way. There were some herbal medications that they used to buy consistently then. I can't really tell if it worked or if there's no cure for it for now. So I can't really say how much those herbal medications worked. But I know they tried that at some point. But after a while, again, we were back to Oyibo medicine. Yeah. To be very honest, I probably won't be able to. And the reason is because you would never understand it except you have lived through that process. Nobody can understand. Nobody can explain it except you're in it. And even if you experience it one time, you might not still get it. We experience it almost every month of her life, and it's been over 20 years. Imagine going through that every month. So if she wasn't my sister, I probably won't understand. I won't know what it is. Like I said, the sleepless nights, the pain, the hospital process. At some point, they couldn't find her vein anymore because she's taking too many drips, and all the veins were weak and they've disappeared. So when she goes through a new set of crises, the doctors look and check and they can't find anything, and then they give up. So they leave her there in the pain. She can't take drip. She has to just focus on oral medication. So all these things, you have to be there to experience it, to be able to understand it, and to be able to actually explain it. Otherwise, nobody can really understand what a sickle cell patient goes through, except you live with them. I'm not in her shoes to really say that, but Joy is lucky. She doesn't look like a sickle cell patient. So I don't really think that she gets judged or in being treated in a certain type of way. The only time I know that happened was when she was using crutches and walking frame. She used to tell us that she gets some kind of stares and looks from other students in the school, and I think that's because there was something physical for them to see. Otherwise, she's a very cute girl, so you probably don't know that she's a sickle cell patient. And she takes care of herself. She likes fashion. She likes doing her hair. She likes dressing up. Even when she's not doing anything or going anywhere, she dresses up in the house, and she's doing videos, TikTok videos. So you won't even know. So I don't think she really goes through that stereotype thing so much. Yeah. Well, so we're 5 in numbers, and and I don't know if you understand the division, the medical divisions. We've all been reading about these things. We've done research countless times. So if an AS person marries an AS person, they are likely to have SS, and then they can also have other kinds of genotypes. So I fell into the AA. I think 2 other of my sisters are also AA. Then there's one that is AS. So we know all these things. Luckily, I can marry any kind of other genotype. So I'm not particularly taking so much precaution in terms of that. If I was like an AS person, then I would have to be looking out not to marry another AS person, so that I won't repeat the same thing that happened with Joy. But because I'm AA, I think I'm a little bit relaxed in that area. The advice I have for a fellow sibling that has like an SS sister or brother is to try to be there for the person. It's not very easy. It can be frustrating sometimes, but just show them love, and also make sure that they have their essentials being water. They have to take a lot of water every day. They have to cover up. That's cardigan, socks, and long clothes, because exposure to cold affects them. They have to take their medication, and this is a bit tricky and difficult. I mean, this advice is not specifically for a sibling. It might be for a parent or an adult in the house. You actually have to spend some amount of money in this medication part. That's one of the ways where the crisis can reduce. There are loads of medications to buy. So if they have the money, you have to get all those medications. There are so many, I can't start to list them out. So, but if you miss them, if the person is keeping all these medications, then the chances of having complications begin to increase. But if you're able to judiciously get the medications and let the person take them, then it works. There's a specific kind of water also she has to take. This person has to take. You can't take pure water or any kind of, and it's not any kind of bottled water. There's a specific type. Make sure the person doesn't play rough. Anything that will stress the body. Just make sure that they calm themselves down.